friends, good evening, and this is your host Ankit Khanelwal joining you from Delhi, India, and we have our coach Kumar joining us from Delhi.
Hello,
Good evening, coach,
everyone.
and good morning and good afternoon to everyone around the world watching us live on IBM TV. And welcome to Spiritual Saturday, and we'll start with More Smart with Anandmai. So, Coach Kumar, let's get started.
Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. So, I just hope that everyone has been well since last week because last week we connected. And
Yeah.
I would ask our viewers if you have any questions related to our last session with Coach Lena. So, if you have any questions, put that on and we'll try to answer them as much as possible. So, Ankit, you tell me what's happening at your end.
Nothing as it's just that we are still worried about the COVID thing. People nearby,
Hmm.
family members and friends, they are also not feeling well. So it's just a negative environment, and how it happens in India.
Yeah.
I mean, when I see videos of around the world, especially in Europe, people are still close to normal. Not normal, but still they're close to normal. They're going out and stuff like that. But I think in India, it's still not the case, and then we are still struggling with things. In fact, I talked to a lot of doctors also. So situation is not as good as what we were thinking of, but we are trying our best to overcome the situation. See,
Hmm.
it's been more than 6 months since we are working from home, and
Yeah.
I generally go out for some work, maybe something if it's important, maybe to buy groceries or maybe visit to a hospital or something like that. But people who are not able to go, that's something strange. And also, I had a word with one of our utility service person, and he told me that there are a lot of people who live in a small house. Small
Yeah.
house means they just have one studio room, and then they are like 4 or 5 people. How they will sustain in this scenario? So what they have done is they have shifted their family to their native places, so that at least
Hmm.
their family members are safe and they are taking care of it. In Delhi and in metropolitans in Bombay and all those places, because they wanted to earn money for the family, and they wanted to live, and they wanted to help and sustain. So they are working as the frontline warriors also. Helping
Hmm.
people, sorting out from utility problems and stuff like that, and then their families are back at the native places. So I think scenario is still different, and I have talked to a lot of people. They are working from the native place also. They don't want to come back to Delhi and Bombay and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so there was a news all over that a lot of multinationals they are deciding now to start work from home culture because then it's going to save them a lot of infrastructure cost.
Yeah,
But then it has its own pros and cons. Whatever it comes with all the goods and bads. And then again, there was a meme going on, a joke that 2020 has only 4 months. It has January, February, quarantine, and December.
yes,
So that's how the whole situation is. But yeah, of course, we at IBM TV we try hard to pull the spirit, like to keep the spirit of us and other people high in these unprecedented times because I understand, and it's not um, it is not only with us who are sitting here in metropolitan cities, but for
yeah,
also people who have sent their families to their hometowns, or maybe people who came from a smaller town to work in metros, and then there's no work because of the lockdown and stuff. They are just hand
yeah,
to mouth. Some days they are eating, some days are not eating, and then there are other people who are just wasting food. So there need to be a balance between both of them. And as we discussed like couple of times now, that we have to own our responsibilities and our actions, because if I just go out and say, "Meh, I just came out for 5 minutes and corona won't happen to me," then that's full of me and not of the corona.
it's
So
not like that.
yes, yeah.
Certainly, it's not like that. We have to be productive, and in this scenario, the thing is that we have to protect our family and our nearby people as well. Because something
Yeah.
happened to someone, it will definitely attack you as well. So we have to be very cautious and try to settle down and try to be calm and try to be patient. I think patience is something very important, which helps you generate a lot of power and key, and also prevention is always good. So how we can prevent ourselves, making sure that we are in safer hands and try to protect our family and friends.
Yeah.
That's the
Just
scenario.
acknowledging that just what we are doing is, Now, government has lifted up the lockdown, and in this situation, what happens that we just allow our family members also and ourselves also to put our guards down. But this is not the time to put our guards down. In my society, in the entire lockdown for 4 months, there were not a single case out of like 700 families. But after the lockdown was open, we have already hit 50 or more than that. So nothing for 4 months, and then in 2 months, we are hitting like double digit. And then there are elderly people in the society also using the same lift. Kids are there, they will not understand that, okay, I don't have to use the lift because someone is infected, might have traveled in the lift. So there's a lot of these type of things happening. So we need to contain and take actions, and the responsibility of our actions. We just cannot close our eyes and then see that nobody's seeing us. It's our eyes closed, not theirs. So yeah.
Certainly. I completely agree, and I think we have to. I mean, we have to follow this routine for next maybe couple of years, because then only we'll understand that this is a part of a lifestyle. Because see, Ananda, if you remember, I mean, in our old days, I mean, our grandparents, they used to follow a lot of practices, which we thought
Hmm.
that why they are doing all this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
but now if we are still following some stuff, and that practice give us a lot of faith and lot of
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of hygiene as well, basically. Because
Yes.
in our families, we don't keep our, I mean, footsteps inside the home. We put it
Inside the home.
outside until unless there is something which is there. I mean, so these are the tendencies. And then whenever someone comes from outside, we just wash hands. So these are the practices which we are following. It's just that we,
Hmm.
from now onwards, we are doing it as a kind of a scare, or maybe we are a little, we don't know what to do,
Hmm.
how to control. So we're just trying our best to do this. But if we follow the some practices which is good for our health
Yeah.
and for hygiene, I think these are some good practices which we must follow.
Yeah, so if you remember, Ankit, as you said that there was a tradition in India, and especially in North India and South India, and like if I can talk about collective India also, we used to put our footwears outside. Outside footwears are different, inside footwears were different.
Yeah, yeah,
Then we had what you say, once a week at least neem leaves were introduced in the home, either in bathing or just kept inside the house to disinfect it. After that, there was a tradition to have haldi milk, turmeric milk, the herbal tea, which we talk about now more often, like kadha, what we say, the
yeah.
herbal tea with a lot of basil and ginger and other stuff. So, and then washing our hands and feet whenever you used to come from outside, cover your face and your head when you are out in sun or maybe in winters also. We used to do that. But now it is more of compulsion than a tradition. So it is like, and this is often said that all the fashion or tradition, they come after, like they are in a circle. So today, if you start something, it will come back in 30 to 40 years. Same goes with fashion. If you say see the style of jeans or see a style of salwar kameez or suit or whatever dresses across the globe, it's not that they're manufacturing or designing anything new. They're picking from the old stuff, giving
True.
it a new trendy look, and then selling it. So it's just that the history repeats, so the tradition. So if we follow what, and that's why it said that whatever your grandma used to do or
Yeah,
granddad used to do, if you're following the same thing, there are less chances, like very less chances that you'll fall ill or anything will happen to you in terms of
certainly.
diet, in terms of physical activities. So now earlier our granddads used to pull up all these bags of rice, like 50 kgs of rice or 50
Yeah,
kgs of wheat. Now they go in the gym and they do dumbbell, but you can see the muscle build of your granddad and the muscle build of a 25-year-old who is using the dumbbell. It's completely different. From the physical appearance to the strength, it has completely shifted because we are doing it artificially and not naturally.
no, I completely agree, and I completely understand. In fact, I'll tell you something
Mhm.
interesting, that people who are doing dumbbells or stuff like that. I mean, I'm not talking about everyone, but a lot of people, they don't have inner immunity. They might be strong from outside, but the inner immunity is not there. I know some
Yeah.
of them. I mean, because whenever something happened, they don't know how to heal themselves. Secondly, Ananda, you remember? I mean, nowadays in India, because of a lot of heat and all this stuff, we used to have the refrigerated water. But during the COVID, very few people are taking it, and we are using our old matka water basically, which is and people are following it, and we don't feel that we have to
Yeah.
eat, we have to drink anything which is cold and stuff like that. So I think it's
Yeah.
just the mindset and the lifestyle which we are following, and if we just try to change a little bit, I think we will get good results. In fact, in our family, we are also putting a lot of basil in the water to make sure that we have that power and that those herbs as well in our water, basically. So there's multiple ways to do that.
Yeah, of course, that it's completely about the mindset that what we do. We used to keep the water in the fridge, but this in this year we had, and we used to have the matka also because I get easily affected by cold water if it's artificially cold, as in fridge water. So I used always the earthen pot, the matka. This year, you won't believe I had a little bit of a cold drink about a week ago.
Oh,
Entire summer, nothing at all, no ice cream. Even my sister-in-law was saying, let's go and have ice cream. I said, no, no ways I'm gonna have ice cream in these days because it's gonna trigger any of the itching or any infection in the throat, and then it's very risky. Even
yeah,
if you're having a simple cough and cold or a fever, the brain only goes to COVID and nothing else.
yeah.
And then talking about the immunity of people who go to gym and stuff, I was talking to a dietitian, a nutritionist, and she's one of the best I know. And she
Okay.
was telling that a 18-year boy came to her hospital. She works for a hospital as well, and he was in ICU. His liver was gone,
Oh,
about like 10,
right.
20% working. 18-year
Okay.
boy, and then she was doing his diet chart, and she asked, "What do you eat?" You won't believe he was on a protein diet,
Oh,
protein supplement. Because
only.
gym jana hai, yes, because they have to go to gym, they have to do the exercise and make the muscles. He has cut on the fibers, carbs, and his gym trainer. And she asked that who gave you this diet, and he said my gym trainer asked me to have protein supplement and protein diet. Like, and that is why I got so furious and I posted it on the social media also that if you are not certified for it, if you have not studied it well, just do not go and prescribe it. It is going to hamper someone's life.
Certainly.
Imagine that 18-year boy, he has his entire life in front of him, but he will not be able to enjoy any other food than just boiled food for rest of his life.
That's
So
surprising.
so we have to work collectively. And then I was speaking with someone, and I guess he was a doctor or someone who is in this, I think on our show only. We
Okay.
haven't worked for we haven't worked for our immunity for last 60 years. I think Dr. Sabu or the Ayurved doctor who
No,
comes
Dr.
in, he
Dhawan.
was
Dr.
telling.
Dhawan mentioned that. Dr. Dhawan
So
mentioned that.
yeah, I guess, yes. So for 60 years, we did not do anything about our immunity or our lifestyle. And then suddenly we are waking up one day and deciding to have kada and then hampering ourselves. More, like, more than it's helping us, it's hampering us. So we have to be very cautious about what we choose, very conscious about what we do, our actions, our eating. So whatever input we discussed about input, so
Yeah.
whether it's food, whether it's thoughts, whether it's friends and family, even sometimes we need to cut off some friends and family because they are becoming toxic for us. So all these things needs to be kept in a line that
True.
it is not going to hamper, because what we do, okay, there's something on the Google, read it and then you are the master of it. It
Yeah.
is not like that. And I agree that on times it feels very great to have some good designation on your visiting cards as well, but then you are playing with someone's life. So be
True.
very cautious about what you are recommending people. And and it's normal to say, don't, no, I don't know this. Sometimes I
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
this, that I don't know,
Obviously.
I'm not aware about
Yeah.
it, and I'll go and
True.
I'll read about it. As you
True.
said about that Korea flight, that from Korea, if you go to US, something or the other happens, something supernatural or suspicious or magical happens. So I didn't
Yeah.
know about it, and that's perfectly fine that I don't know. It
That's
does
fine.
not mean that I will just start saying something which is garbage.
I completely understand. In fact, I mean, if you say yes for everything, it's like you are the master and you know a lot of people. But I mean, that's what I was. I mean, when I was a child, I used to say because I wanted to know everything. So I said, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I know this. And then I realized that why I'm saying yes. I mean, if I say no, people won't do anything. I mean, no one will make fun of you. No one will laugh you because no is also part of the I mean life basically. And sometimes
Yeah,
as well, you have to say no to people not to do the work, and that no means yes for them basically because see, if you are not able to come for your work and then I just say okay, I'll do it, but I am not doing it internally, it doesn't make sense to me. So I think we have to be clear that whether we have to do this or we don't have to do this. But by saying yes or no, it doesn't harm anyone. It doesn't harm you as well. But it makes a clear point that what you want and what that person wants, and I think that's perfectly fine. And in fact, a lot of people ask me that what do you study or what do you learn while before coming on the show. So I said there is no study or there is nothing like that. I mean, it's just that we follow a process. I mean, I'm just keen to learn what's happening around the world with world news and all those stuff, and then subjects I'm interested in, I just follow those subjects. I mean, if I don't know anything, that's fine because we have an expert who will tell us about it. If you have an opinion, you will share your opinion, but an expert can definitely help you out to make sure that these are the points which we need to take care of and all this stuff. Because when it comes to spirituality, we don't know anything. I mean, that's why we look forward to Anandmai. So that's how, I mean, we work it out here. So it's a
yeah.
part of the
So
culture.
yeah,
It's nothing like that.
of course, I agree, and we all are work in progress because I might
Yeah,
follow one part of spirituality, or spirituality might mean something different for me than for
yeah,
you. Maybe for you, it is just going out and having fun.
yeah, yeah.
Ultimately, what spiritually is doing to all of us is making us a better human. And if it is
True.
making us a better human in any way, maybe I
Yeah,
go outside and give some food to needy people, or maybe I feed dogs, or maybe I do anything for the environment, and that makes me a good human being, then that and the different aspect of spirituality. I was just waiting for Rakesh ji, Bill, and Willie, so that Kim, so that we can just discuss about a couple of things today. But I
certainly.
think they all are busy somewhere.
I'm not sure. I mean, it didn't happen, but they will join us soon. So that's what I can say. I was also a little
Yeah,
occupied since morning, so I didn't get time to talk to anyone. I just
yeah.
invited them on the show, and that's about it. But I
Yeah.
think they will join back. But I would like to know why people behave in different manners when it comes to certain things. Maybe I mean, if they're not happy, so they behave in certain other manner, or if they're meeting to someone else, they behave in certain different manners. So why we change our perception, or why we change our mindset, or maybe something changes. I mean, when you meet people in different ways of life, why
Hmm.
that happen?
Okay, so first thing is that we wanted to be accepted or recognized in their world. Okay, and if so, for example, if you are important to me and if I meet you, I will try to please you or say the things which you like so that I'm accepted in your world and Ankit appreciates me, like that. Or if I don't like someone and I don't want them around, so I will speak in a way that they don't like, they also get pissed off me. And then, so basically, this is called the mirroring. It's like I am projecting what I want, and then I'm getting back from you the same thing. So basically, the base or the foundation of the such behavior change is because we wanted the acceptance and the recognition in someone else's world. If that person is important in my world, I will
Yeah,
try to please them or help them or do things which they might like. So for example, if you do certain things and if I want that, okay, I want to be friends with Ankit,
yeah,
so I will try to tell you all those things which you like. So if you say I like blue color, so I will say, oh yeah, I also like blue color. See, we both are wearing blue today.
yeah,
So I will try to match whatever you are telling. But if I do not like you for some reason and I don't want to be in your presence or something, so even if you say I like blue and I will say no, I didn't had any clothes today, so I wore blue. Blue is not my favorite color. So here only, like just in color, dress color only, there are two different views. So the basic again is the, like, you wanted to be accepted in their world from the perspective of your world.
yeah.
Like in my world, if I get accepted by Ankit and his friends, then I have achieved something. That is true in my world.
But why
So
it's
I will
important
do it.
to but why it's important to to like what I don't know what to use the word, but why it's important that I have to show my best personality in front of Anandmay. I have to show my best thing in front of IBM TV. But on the other way around, I'm a different person altogether. So why we have two dual personalities? Good morning, Kim. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Hello.
We need some spiritual upholding. Good morning, Coach Anamandave.
Hi,
We got another
hello.
guest joining us too this morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All well, all good. It's like that we are in a dress code that me and Anandmay is in blue and
And blue. And we didn't even plan this. We did not even.
Right. Okay.
I was feeling a blue color today. That's weird. I went straight for my blues, but it was a fall. It's a fall day, so I put on my fall clothes to show my spirit. But I was in a blue mood. I kid you not. I grabbed the blues this morning, but then I saw Bill in his brown vest, and I go, okay, there we go.
No,
But that's when you become in sync with people, right?
mhm.
I think that is amazing how that connectivity starts to happen. And Ankit and I, we did this, I don't know how many weeks, every day we would walk on the set and we're in the same colors.
That's called the cosmic connection.
It is very cosmic. Are we going to have Wynn join us today?
nope. Although I didn't invite it Win, but I can invite her if she wants to join.
She said hi. Hi,
Yes, she said
Wynn.
hi.
I win.
We love you.
Win, if you want to join, just message me. I'll share the link.
So anyway, yeah, that's how we are at IBM TV, right? If we see you, come join us. So what is the topic today? What are you guys talking about?
She said no. She said no. She doesn't want to join today.
Oh.
No.
That's all right. She must be having her morning coffee.
So, Wynn, I hope you're doing well this morning. But anyway, what is the topic?
But you know that, we are starting a new show with Win. We are still working on the show format and timing. So soon, Win Charles will be on IBM TV talking about his own stories and stuff like that. And she wants to join next week.
That's right. There you go. Next
Great wait for you, Will.
That's the power of communication on IBM TV.
That's right.
Real-time engagement.
What's the topic, Coach Ankit? What do we got?
So we were discussing about some usual instances, what happened in the life and all those stuff with Coach Kumar. So Anandmay, over to you.
Yeah, so we were talking about that why people behave in certain way with couple of people, like with a certain group of people, and then why they behave in different way. So the bottom line which came was that they wanted to be accepted in your world from the perspective of their world. And I was giving example that if I want to be friends with Ankit, so I will, and that is an achievement for me. That is an achievement in my world to be friends with Ankit. So I will start talking about things he likes. As in, I also like blue color, and that is why I'm wearing blue today. Hey, Ankit, same pinch. And for example, if being friends with him is not a very good achievement, or it is not required in my world, so I will say just, hi Ankit, how are you doing, and very formal talk, and then okay, bye, see you next week or something like that. So this is what is that it is not about Ankit, it is always about me, or it is always about us, that what do we want in our world and how do we want to be accepted. So we try to mold the story. There will be the same story, and it's very beautiful. Again, me and Ankit, we were discussing it in the afternoon. We were just talking, chit chatting about things, and it came up that we always say there are two sides of a story. We all agree to it, but there are always three sides of the story.
That's right.
One is my version, one is your version, and one is the actual version.
That's right.
So I will see the story from my perspective, my filters, my belief. You will see from yours, but then it is going to be something different.
Mm-hmm.
And when my perspective matches to yours, and I will try my level best if I like you to match to that. So if you say that it's 8 o'clock night in Delhi, and if Ankit says, oh, the sky is red, oh yeah, it is red at my side of the town as well. Something like that. I will try to match it as much as possible just to be in his good books, because that is an achievement in my world.
You know, Coach, I never thought of it that way, but that is so true. And it's so subtle.
Yes.
Wow.
There's a very thin line, actually very thin one. Because what happens that there is a story going on the television. I see it from my perspective, you see it from your perspective, the anchor is telling it from their perspective, and then the actual something what has happened is some completely different. So there's always three sides to it. And there's a very thin line, because if we think in that way that so as we say that if I start understanding your perspectives, Bill, then there will be no conflict. Half of the conflict will be waived off.
Okay, because you know, one of the things that I've always found, and I try to practice it consciously. There are different terms for it. Some people call focusing in and just being present in the moment, and that's kind of step one. But step two is that I really try to focus on active listening, so that because when you're in times of conflict, you know, I ask the other person, okay, just talk to me and tell me what's going on. And it's one thing when you kind of sit back and just like, yeah, and then maybe your mind is off somewhere. But active listening actually takes some effort, because you've just got to focus in and listen on each word, and then kind of read between the lines to get a sense of what they're feeling. Because oftentimes people will tell you what they're feeling through how they're talking to you. But it's active listening. I never knew that there was the other dimension that you talked about, which is me changing, adjusting my perception in order to reach my goal, which is to be a friend with you. That is, I got to tell you, that's actually almost dangerous, you know? But
That is interesting concept, but many times I think we do adjust our ways to be accepted by the other people. And maybe sometimes in some ways they adjust their mannerisms or their thoughts or their beliefs to be accepted with you. Maybe that's what you call compromising and bridging the gap, is that there's a level of making changes so that we can accept each other. It's very different.
well, I mean, let me just ask the panel: do you think that that's a benefit? Because you know, just rethinking and going through the stuff, Coach Kumar. Oftentimes, when we meet people that are beneficial to our lives, that's in fact what we do when we model their behavior as we try to go through. And you know, in some respects, I mean, I think that's the notion behind having a mentor and or being a mentor. I mean, so I guess they're good and bad. What do you guys think about that? Because that's really interesting. Because if it's a compromise, is it a compromise for the good or a compromise for the bad? What do you guys think about that?
I'm going to defer to Coach.
Okay, Coach.
Okay, so what happens, Bill, that we seek acceptance from other people because we have not accepted some parts of ourselves. So, for example, if I have done something, maybe in my past, or maybe today, or maybe yesterday, if I am ignoring that part, then I will try my hard, bestest thing to be in good books, because I do not feel good about myself. I feel on a lower level. So being friends with you or Ankit or Kim will give me that maybe one staircase to get a step ahead. And then I'll feel, oh, thank God, I did something miserable, but thank God I have a friend like Ankit or Bill and Kim. And that's why I'm in a better place. So that is giving a false hope to ourselves. Now, coming back to your question, that sometimes we do compromises for a bigger betterment, like a bigger good. In that case, we have to see if it's making us happy or sad. If it's making us sad, then that's a bad deal.
Okay.
So we have to be very, very careful. If it's making us sad, if does that decision feel light or heavy at your heart? And you can do it physically also. You can put one decision in one hand and the other one in the other hand, and just close your eyes and ask, what decision would I like to take? The other way which they do is that flip a coin. And while the coin is in the air and the message which you are getting, that if say for example decision A is heads, decision B is tail, and if you want to, and you are going for decision B but you wanted A, till the time the coin is in the air, your brain, your heart will scream to you, let it be A, let it be A, let it be A, and that
Oh,
is the one which you need to decide.
So that's intuition basically. That's called your
Yeah, the gut feeling. Yes.
that is really interesting, because what,
It is interesting.
what you're doing is you're creating your
It's time to toss a coin.
yeah. Well, no, I mean, you know,
I cheat. I keep tossing until it lands the way I want it to.
That's another way to look at it. Yep.
yes, but I guess, Coach, what you're saying is that in the process of flipping the coin, you are self-inducing a heightened awareness about the decision, and you're increasing your anxiety level, and that your body naturally responds with,
Yes.
and that wow.
Interesting.
Now, Kimberly, if you're looking to avoid anxiety, just flip the coin once. I mean, each time you're going to cause yourself stress. Over and over.
No, if I'm sitting there and I go, I'm just going to keep flipping the coin, then I already know what my answer is, right? That's the kind of person I guess the mental person I am is that a lot of times I'll just get it set in my head. This is what I have to do. And I have played the flip the coin before. It does bring a lot of anxiety to me because I don't like for fate. You guys have heard my saying, I don't like the word hope. I use that for a final Hail Mary, but not for my business planning and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of like flip the coin. Oh, land right. Oh, screw it. I'm just going to flip it. There, heads. All right. What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say is that, I mean, sometimes what happens is that if I feel something that I will do this, but because of the scenario and because of people around me, they wanted me to do part B. But I inside think that I will go for option A, not option B. But then because of that, it's kind of a conclusive decision with the family or maybe with friends or with a lot of people. It looks like that, I don't know, I should go for option B because option A is only, I'm thinking about myself, but it not be good for everyone. But then I realized that whatever I am thinking, my gut feeling says, that is what I have to do, because whenever I rely on other people's decision, although they don't want to harm me, but it's just that I am not satisfied or comfortable, or maybe I didn't get good results as compared to what my decisions are. Because if I take a decision, I can back those decisions and I can say, okay, I took that part. But when you involve a lot of people for a decision, sometimes it's in a different boat altogether. I'm not sure whether it's right or not, but that happens with me a lot of times. So I wanted to take my own decision. And the best example is that when you are going for a vacation and you have a chauffeur-driven driver driving your car, and the driver is not driving properly, and you know how to drive. So why will I give my life to the driver driving the car? I would like to drive myself because my family is there sitting in the car. Why will I give my life to someone else and he's driving the car? Maybe drinking something or maybe thinking about something else. And those are different, areas to drive. So I prefer to take the control of my car or my family, and I want to stay ahead so that I can protect a lot of people. So for that, I have to take decisions. Decisions can be good or bad, but if you back your decisions wisely, and if you know what you are trying to do to make sure you protect everyone, I think we can work that out. I don't see a problem, but I generally, my intuition or my sixth sense says that I have to do this, and I'll try to follow that path.
And I think that's a good way of taking a look at it, because I think for a lot of people, we already kind of plan things, right? We already kind of know, we're experienced, especially at our age, we have a lot of experience. And this was a conversation we had probably several weeks ago about letting go of the will sometimes, because when I was listening to Ankit, that's exactly how I am. I just, okay, maybe I know how to drive. I'm not going to give it to you. And I do not want self-flying planes. I do not want automatic flying planes. I want a pilot who loves his life, who values his life, and is going to keep that plane in the air and land it so that we all survive. So, there are some mindsets here that, putting your faith in other people that you trust that are experienced as well as in yourself. but yeah, no, Ankit, I'm with you on that.
I can tell you, I mean, when I used to get into cars and other people were driving, I was just, I would lose it. And I had to really, and I guess looking back now, it was a form of meditation. I really had to take a deep breath and just accept. And I found that one of my coping mechanisms, and this is in any car, and even with like Uber or Lyft or whatever, I just kind of look out the window and focus on something else rather than, and then I'm just like, okay, let me just look at the trees, look at the houses, look at the scenery and stuff. But you're right. It does, it when you hand the direction of your life inadvertently, and I think Coach Kumar, that's what you're talking about, that if somehow subtly you inadvertently hand a direction or a piece of your life over to somebody, you're not quite sure, and therefore, and they're driving the boat, and you feel helpless. Am I right on that, Coach? Or?
Yes. So there are two aspects, again, two ways of looking at it. What example Ankit gave, that if we are going somewhere on a vacation and a driver is not driving properly, then of course it's a matter of life and death for him, for me or my family who is sitting in that car. But what if the driver is driving it properly, but still I want to take the control of the steering wheel? That there could be two reasons: either I love driving, or I just want to be in control. So if I'm in control, then I'm freaking out because someone else is driving, and I just don't want to sit back and relax. Mm-hmm. So again, it comes, as Ankit is saying, it comes from a gut feeling. So yes, if it's a matter of life and death or a very crucial decision, your gut will tell you. But sometimes we just need to take the back seat, sit and relax the chauffeur-driven car.
So Ananda, that's what we do when we are on the aircraft, because we are not certified pilots, so we can't take the control. So we take back seat on the air.
Yeah. But what happens? You don't know that who's sitting in the cockpit, if he has slept for 12 hours or 24 hours, has he drank anything or not. We just trust and sit because we don't know how to just fly a plane, but we know how to drive. So we get freaked out if somebody has taken a wrong turn, or maybe he has accelerated the speed, because we know it. So the triggers which coming from the knowing and the comfort which comes from not knowing are the two different things which we need to balance and just sail through it.
You know, one of the things I learned, I do like taking control a lot, but was when I had boys learning how to drive. And I learned, kind of like Bill, just to, one, trust them a little bit, but look out the window a lot more. And when I kind of not tensed up with them, it was so funny. They drove so much better. Like, they drove with more confidence. They handled things. I wasn't going, and then they weren't panicking. And this is something I learned, over the years driving with the different children. And I also would take out my nieces and nephews to drive and things like that. What it also gave me was, wow, I really kind of like having a chauffeur, right? Because I would just toss the keys to them after a while. Here, you drive. So I kind of became spoiled, and I learned to trust a little bit in somebody else driving for me. And that kind of gave me a lot of freedom to get work done, to appreciate somebody else driving, build confidence in somebody else's driving. Eventually I got to the point pretty bad, as much as I do like to be in control of things. I just would hand my keys to anyone that worked with me. Here, you drive. Especially if I knew their background check was they had, no tickets and, good driving records. Right, here, you drive. So, I prefer now, but I build confidence with somebody before I do that. And once I did that, and Ankit, you'll know when your daughter gets old enough to drive. Okay, but I'm just gonna tell you when I breathe the confidence and not panic every move they made, they drove so much better. There was no, and even my niece, she goes, I like driving with you better because you're not like, and she did, and they're going to put the brakes on different than you are. They're going to, until they get a feel for it, but they have to figure it out. My advice though, and I picked this up, well, the first two boys I didn't do this with, and my third one, we drove out in the country a lot because he horseback ride. But a friend of mine, she would take her kids driving in the graveyard.
Oh, okay. Sure. That makes sense. I mean,
So, there's not many people there, not a lot of traffic. It's quiet, right?
Yeah.
And you learn to stop at the crossroads of the cemetery, right? So she would take them out there. And I thought that was pretty brilliant. I did. I thought that was pretty brilliant. So, but anyway, learning to hand over these things to other people. Flipping a coin is an easy way to do it too, like we were talking earlier. Do I or don't I? But I think building your own confidence and allowing somebody else, it's interesting. But Ankit, you've got a lot to look forward to. So
Oh yeah.
No, I'm prepared for that. I'm learning a lot of things, how to pass on a lot of stuff. But I'm firm believer of passing the knowledge to other people and make sure that what I believe is that if you can train someone and if you can monitor that person with your eyes, that if that person is doing right or not, because what happens is that after you, who will take care of that? So we have to train, and we have to make sure that they learn all the possible scenarios within your lifetime, because after that, who will train them? So that's what I believe in. I mean, whenever someone is ready to learn something, we have to make sure that we protect them and we try to give them all the tasks, or maybe create some scenarios so that they will do that work. Because see, talking and doing certain things are a little different. I mean, as Bill and Kim also know that whenever we talk about something, it's different. But when you do that, it's automatically by heart because you understand how to do the process. So I think we have to follow that path and we have to pass on our best practices to the world and to our next generation, be it driving, be it whatever it is, but only the good practices.
We do, and I think you're so dead on. We have to pass this knowledge on to our children and pass on the good integrity as well, which is something that I have seen changed in our country so much in the last 10 years. Is the integrity has really adjusted, and we need to inspire the integrity. Buenos dias. Oh, okay. So, but we're having fun here this morning. We're talking about some good spiritual ways of maybe allowing ourselves to be in control of what we're doing, but share that control with someone else, and having the confidence to do it. Coach, what are your ideas on this?
So, Coach, do you want me to put that image so that you can explain what is this?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, yes.
What do we got, Coach?
You see the picture on the screen, and I want to ask each one of you that what do you see and what do you feel about it?
Oh, wow. Ankit, you want to go first or Kim?
You go.
Flip a coin.
All right, Dr. Bill, you go first.
Oh, roar. I see a lion. I guess, the patterns are similar. And what strikes me is this, is that the brain, this is all just, off the cuff. The brain runs on electrical signals, which is essentially energy. And then you've got the universe, and the patterns are the same. Now, I've often heard that we are made up of the basic elements of the universe. And so it doesn't surprise me that our brain patterns would be different. But beyond that initial reaction, I'm just kind of stunned. I'd have to sit back and think. But it's amazing because Coach, you're getting me to think about things differently now. And so right now I'm in uncharted territory, so I'm listening. That's my reaction.
Thank you for sharing, Bill. Kim, Ankit, who's going next?
Well, I think it shows our connectivity to the universe, how close we are to the universe, and what our make and DNA is that we still do not understand, right? And I think we're still learning. We're still very young compared to the universe. And I think we have a lot to learn. But when you look at the comparison of what that is to our brain, it just tells you where we really come from, where we've evolved. Yeah. Ankit?
What I understand for my first view is that it looks like a flow of life to me, whether it's universe or whether it's your, inner blood, and how that flow connects with different veins and different formats, in different scenarios and lifestyle and stuff like that, but will still it's kind of connection. So either it's with plants or with animals or with blood or with universe, anything, because I mean, as of now or maybe at any point of time, we're connecting with someone or the other in some sense or the other. That's what I've realized with that picture.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
coach.
I mean, it also seems to indicate, as I'm just going through this, that that we have more in common. Because I mean, if we're in common, if that is kind of a representative of us in the universe, and that's so vast and large that I can't necessarily put my head around it, then it makes me humble to think my differences, if I have any with Ankit, are minimal, and I can whatever it is, him and I can figure it out. That's kind of what it makes me think, Coach.
Coach.
Yeah. So what I think, or what I wanted to discuss here, just a question for all of you. What if the entire universe is brain cell of someone very big, and we are living in his or her imagination, like in their brains? We are the representation, or we are the physical form of someone's imagination, because our neurons, our brain cells, like I imagine, so for example, I imagine Kim with wings, and I imagine Bill with a magic wand, or I imagine Ankit with some supernatural powers. That is in my imagination. But what if I have an ability to just bring all of that imagination in a physical form and keep it? So, what if we are living in someone's imagination and we are the physical representation of it? Does that not?
Is it
Yes.
That's
is it
beautiful.
like a superhero movie that we are imagining a character and then the character is doing something what I want that character to do? Is it something like that?
Yes, it is. But my bigger question was, if we are part of someone's imagination, that what are we fighting for? Why it is so important to have a certain piece of land or territory or certain part of control in our lives or in anyone's life?
That's
If
I
that's
don't know.
beautiful.
yes,
Is it
That's
because of the name or power what we want, which is not there with those imaginations? Because if you get some control or some power for something, you want to rule that thing or something like that. Because people are, I mean, in India, what happens is that whenever someone does a good thing, they wanted to have their name behind it. So whenever anything, I mean, if you donate money, whatever you do, basically, you want
yeah,
your name to be imprint there, because you wanted to showcase that everyone that you are doing these donations and you are doing this work, so that people will appreciate you and I mean share some gratitude. So I'm not sure on the other way around. I mean, if we do something and if we don't get those powers, we will try to do something else to make sure that we'll get
okay,
the power.
okay. So, for example, in my imagination, Kim has wings and she has the ability to fly. Okay, and Bill has a magic wand from which he can change anything. Yeah, like a butterfly. So why it is difficult for Kim to understand? It is just an example that she has the ability to fly. I wanted her to fly. If I am the bigger person or bigger authority, in my imagination, I has given her power to fly and Bill a magic wand and you some other power. So why do you, as Ankit, want Kim's wings, and why Kim's wants
Oh,
Bill's magic wand, and why Ankit or Bill wants your magical powers? If we understand that what we are sent on earth for, or if we are living in someone's imagination and whatever power they had given to us, if we understand that we are supposed to do this and not that, not to run behind what you have,
so
will it not give us a sense of peace?
Well, then,
completely.
Coach, I mean, how do you begin the journey to find your essence? I think that's what you're talking about, because I think you're talking about the point, and it's true in a couple of different things. Like in yoga, they talk about these ideals, and then in other forms of meditation, they talk about these ideals. But my understanding, limited as it is, it comes down to finding that place in you where both your brain and your mental faculties exists with your soul or your spirit or your essence. And that once that is together, that is who you are. You find your purpose. How do people start going on that process? I mean, that you would know.
Yeah, so we discussed this in our earlier shows, that we have to start with our physical body. We have to learn how to keep it. In India, or in our mythology, we say that the body is made up of 5 elements.
Mm-hmm.
We have to balance all those 5 elements first. And once that is balanced, then we go to the energy body or the energy level. And as we talked about it a lot, that taking up the responsibility of our actions or anything which makes us a good human being is start to that journey. It is not that you have to go to a mountain, sit in a cave, and then meditate for 200 years and then you'll become something like that. No, you have to start doing your bit, like the smallest thing, and then you start your journey on that path.
Mm.
That's interesting. But it's all about kind of accepting what you have to work with. You know, when you were talking about what if we were actually someone else's imagination in their brain, because of the connectivity that you see, the likeness of the two. It always reminds me, I know you guys hate when I do this, Dr. Seuss's book, Horton Hears a Who.
Mm-hmm.
And Horton hears in a puff of flour a voice. And so, and people were going to kill this puff of flour, and Horton saves it, right? He goes, no, you can't kill it. There's life in there. And he walks around with this, and everybody picks on him and ridicules him, but he carries this life and he saves it, right? And then they hold, I guess, a court, and you know, they're trying to tell him he has to kill it, but he's not. And they make fun of him, but he still doesn't kill this living being. The end result was the guy who was reaching out to don't kill us, he gets a little powder puff that fluffs near him after he's saved. And it says, hi, hello, you know, save me. And now he has to deal with the same thing Horton did. So I think these are stories that are told to us as children so that we can be open-minded to the broader prospect of what the universe is, right? That there's some more out there than what we see with our own eyes.
Well, actually, the idea that we are the manifestation of somebody else's thought process, you know, a higher power, and that we're set here with various individualized kind of qualities and attributes. Maybe Shakespeare was right that all the world is a stage, and that we are merely acting out our parts, and that Coach, when we find our true essence, that's when we actually find balance and we're the happiest. Even though, and it requires us. Welcome, Rakesh.
Hello.
Okay, well, I'll pause, but go ahead, Coach Kumar. Your guest.
Yes, so exactly the same thing. So if I'm giving the part to play as Anandmay, why will I want to become Kim or Ankit or you or Rakesh? Why I have to do that? Why I just can't play my part and be? So
Sure.
that understanding needs to be. So our children, we from the very young age, they're taught competition, that you have to have grade A, or you have to be certain way, you have to be good at sports. We teach them competition rather than being themselves. If they want to be an artist, just be an artist, even the worst one. Doesn't matter. But if you want to be, just be. So from the starting, we teach them competition. And when they don't succeed, we say, what has happened to this child? Why is he behaving in a certain way? Has he gone mad or something like that? So we teach them a different thing, which we should be teaching them in a way that this is our path, this is your superpower, and you have to work on your superpower rather than going and snatching it from someone else or just willing to snatch it from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, is it like playing your strength and try to learn things which is not a forte of yours, and make sure that you make mistakes but don't repeat your mistakes? Is it something like that? Because I believe in playing on my strength. I don't want to talk about the weaknesses, because you can work on a weakness, but if you play on your strength, if you live your life on your strength, I think you get good results.
Yes. So play on your strength, and even if you have a weakness, accept it. So for me, I can't read digital. I just cannot read anything digital. It's very
Yeah,
difficult. But on the other side, I know that if I print, I am harming environment.
yeah,
So I have to put a lot of effort to read any digital copy of anything. So then I will work on that. And if it's not hampering me too much, my work requires me to read a lot of digital work. So I have to work on that. That how do I fix this? That the thing which I do not have, the quality I do not have. But if I do not, I will not just go and say no. You have to do this for me because I can't do it.
sure.
It's okay to ask for help, but not from a place of authority. And I have to accept that okay, I can't do it, and that's why I'm coming for a help to you, so that you can read it and explain it to me in a better way, rather than me
Sure.
banging my head to my laptop reading just one page, which I'm not able to do on my own.
Yeah.
No,
Ricky?
I agree.
Yeah, my thoughts are is that competition is sort of hardwired because of evolution. Because I'm sure that the first if you look at even a little puppy from in a litter, um, they if you put food there, all of them come rushing for it, and that's instinctive. It is part of survival. It is part of nature. I don't know that we must avoid competition, but certainly being individual, expressing your individuality is part of what gives you pleasure. But when it comes to survival is competition is part of survival. So I don't know that we must avoid competition. I think that as as an animal, and we still are animals, we're not, you can see from the nature of the news today, we still are not entirely spiritual beings. We still have a lot of animal characteristics, strength and power, ruling the roost even now. So I don't know that we can completely give up competition. We have to compete, and I think I'll leave it at that. I think we belabored the point too much.
No, that's a huge scientific explanation of because we're very competitive by nature. Bill, you had something?
Yeah, I guess my question is for Coach. Um, what if it's that those people that are going after, say, for example, land? What is it, what if that is their true nature? That when all is said and done, and that they find what role they're supposed to play, they are the antagonists in our world. How do you think about that?
So if I got your question correctly, that people who are at fight, what about them?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
it's a cliffhanger, I guess.
I know it's a cliffhanger because that was a good question, and
I was about to lean in. Oh,
I know.
Maybe there's a connectivity problem, but what we can do in the meantime, we can showcase that picture to Rakeshji and see what Rakeshji wants to tell about
Yes,
this.
absolutely, Rakesh.
So, Rakeshji,
yeah.
what do you think about this?
Well, it's it is I have come across this kind of analogy, but I think you know the cell operates in its space. The universe is, we don't know enough about it. The photos that we take, they are based on whatever camera we use. It's an edge or a slightly more sensitized version or less sensitized version of your eye, you know. So what it can see, what it appears to be, how your brain processes that image is based on what is your perceptive abilities. um, we, I don't think we should read too much into similarities. It is there, but I wouldn't think that that there's anything other than the fact that there's several things that are similar. A noodle looks like a snake, but they're different. You know, so just by two pennies worth,
Well,
it's
so I mean, Rakesh, on the one hand, do you think that there is something that binds us collectively? And I don't want, and I mean this, but the only way I mean this seriously, but the only way I can describe it is to take the language, say, from Star Wars. I mean, do you think there's something like a cosmic force? Because I think Coach Kumar was kind of suggesting that. Or do you think that's Hogwarts?
might be there. I don't know. There might we this sort of came from the wonderful Greeks. The brilliant people that they are. They sort of looked at the universe as separate from themselves, and their analytical abilities they developed from that concept that we are studying, we are observers in a universe. But when you go to quantum physics, you do realize that you're part of the universe. And if you some famous scientists, including Stephen Hawking, have said that we believe in God, but we spell it Nature, which is nature. So there probably is some force, but the beauty is that we are all similar beings, similar DNA, and we have different thoughts. And that is something which is so wonderful. And I agree with Coach Anandamai that we must have our individual thoughts that makes the kaleidoscope that is
Okay.
field of our imagination so colorful, and so I agree with that. Be yourself. There's no point pleasing others, but competition is not a bad thing. Yes, be yourself, please yourself, enjoy yourself, but competition is not bad.
Kimberly, do you think there's a force or no?
I, still learning. I have my beliefs,
Uh-huh.
and but I feel like I am still learning. I sense a force. One of my favorite movies is Cocoon, and I think I relate to that when I think about the forces that could be out there. Entertaining that there has to be something more higher than us, because how else did we learn some of the things that we learned? I know that just by nature we're curious, but our knowledge is beyond curiosity experiments. And so I believe that there's got to be something far greater than us that has been coaching us, guiding us, and allowing us maybe to be competitive and to evolve on our own two legs, basically. But that's a tough question, because I do believe there's something. I just haven't learned what it is yet. I have faith there's something there. I do have faith.
Thank you.
No, I think so. There is something which connects us at some level or the other, because we connect with someone very easily without even meeting those people, and then some of them we know each other, but we still not able to connect. So there is something, but I don't know. I think we need to do a lot of research to make sure I understand. But what I wanted to add is that sometimes we connect to a different mammal as well. Be it an animal or a bird or something else as well. That's also part of the connectivity. Sometimes I get connected to a plant. He's also, he's also having a life or somewhere. So I don't know. I mean, but because I don't study that much, but I understand that there is something which brings us on the same boat, and that's what we are living for. And competition is always there, be it becomes within humans or within the other species or stuff like that, because we want to eat and all those stuff. Because see, we are still living in our society, but people who are living in the forest, and if we all are like animals, we have to fight for that food. So it's always there. I mean, but it's just that there are different ways to do that, and I think that's what we are trying to work and set it up. But we have Dr. Sadhu joining us on backstage. But before we'll bring Sadhu, sir, I would just like to play a small intro for Dr. Sadhu. Good evening, sir. How are you doing? Sir, you need to unmute yourself. Unmute.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ankit, Bill. Thanks for your kind introduction.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, we were discussing about something which connects a lot of people, and I think our today's topic is also how to age gracefully. So,
Yeah.
Can you share something about that, sir?
Yes, definitely, Ankit. I mean, I was listening backstage also that how we are connected to each other, whether we have even not known to each other, but yes, we are connected with each other through our emotions, through our opinions and all. So when we talk about the age gracefully, how we can age gracefully, what are the ways to aging well? So there are a lot of
Yeah.
things are there. So when we talk about the age gracefully is not trying to be look like 20s or 30s, but yes, it is living your best of your life with the best of your physical and your mental health. Because age is not just a number, but it is a measurement of how you are keeping, how you are preserving your health in the best way. So there are a lot of factors are there through which we can depict how we can age gracefully, like your blood work, how your blood works are going, whether your vitamins levels, how are the vitamins levels, are you deficient for the vitamins, your minerals or something else. Then second is your cognitive function of your brain, how your brain is functioning cognitively, whether on the good side or the bad side. Then how is your physical health, your physical fitness? Because if you're not physically fit, then definitely going to faster your aging. So there are lot many ways are there through which we can say that yes, we can age gracefully. Because when we talk about, there are three things. One is the past, another is the present, and then the future. So all three things, I think they are interconnected. We can always do let go of the past. We should not be memorize the bad things or our past, and we should create a very good present, because the good present is always a reflection of the future. So whatever I'm doing right now, we are building our future like that. So if we want to be aging gracefully, then we should be doing right now. We should be following the good practices right now, so then the aging becomes very good. I mean, it is already fixed, because when I was born, my death was also decided at that time. So I am going through the process of living since I born, and also I'm going through the process of dying also. My cells, they started dying when they were born. So now we are going through the process of dying as well as the process of living. So this is important. What is important is how you are balancing between these two processes, whether the process of living is good or the process of dying is good. So how we can make the balance between these two processes is through some good practices. Some ways are there so that we should be age gracefully, because one day everybody is going to die. But how we would be dying and how we are preserving our health, how we can keeping our quality of the life on the higher side, that is very important, right? So number one is the exercise and the physical activities, because the sedentary lifestyle always faster the aging. So if we keep on, I mean, there are difference between the physical activity and the exercise. Physical activity means when you need not to change your clothes. You are not sweating like you are going for your shopping, like you are doing your regular household. But the exercise is when you are going to have sweating also, so that you need to change your clothes. So that is exercise. Both the things are very important. If we're doing exercise in the morning and the evening 1 hour, we should be physically active all of the day. We cannot be sedentary rest of our day after doing 1 hour of the heavy exercises. We need to understand that if we are training our body, the training has to be very good. There should not be under training, there should not be an overtraining, because by the overtraining we are going to injure our body, we are going to injure the muscles, because we should be learning about, we should understand that we have a musculoskeletal system. We have tendons, we have tissues, we have muscles, we have bones, we have joints. So we should not be ruining our body, but we should be doing the moderate quantity of exercise. So that is important, that is really required for the day-to-day activities. So it is said that around 5 to 6 hours of low to moderate intensity cardiovascular activity are very important in the life. That has to be regular. It should not be there that today I'm doing and tomorrow I'm skipping. So the regular exercise, moderate intensity exercise is very important. Then twice a week we can do a high intensity exercises also, because when there is a stretching of the muscles, then it can decrease the signs of your agings, because exercise, it is going to make you regular activities. It can decrease the risk of the diabetes, it can decrease the risk of obesity, it can improve your mental health, and it can also improve the skin health also. So the physical activity or the exercise, the two most important component of our daily routine. Number two is you have to be very, very kind to your skin. You need to take care of your skin, because skin is the largest organ of the body. And it is not only the largest organ of the body, but it has a major role in the immunity also, because the largest barrier for all the infections and the chemical from outside environment to our body is the skin. So if we are taking care of the skin, then only skin is going to take care of you. So it's a give and take. If we take care of the skin will take care of you from all the environmental elements. The skin have also major role in the regulating the body temperature also. And skin will provide you sensation, because the each and every sensation of environment, or it may be from direct environment, it may be from the emotions also. So all the stimulation we are taking through the skin. So skin has a major role. So that is why we need to protect our skin. How we can protect our skin? There are a lot of ways are there. One is having good hydration. If you are keeping good hydration, your skin becomes very elastic and very good. Very, very turgid also. If you are doing good exercises also, then also the good exercises also keeping your skin very, very good. You should be using all the products very mindfully. We cannot use any products, but yes, some organic products we can use for the skin. The number three is eat healthy, nutrient dense food. So whatever we are eating, that also have a lot of effect on our physical and the mental health. That will also help us regarding aging gracefully. You know that sugar, restaurant food, processed food, they faster the aging, because they have a high calories and the bad calories. So the bad calories can also faster your aging. So if we are keeping balance between the fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, seeds, oil, legume, whole grain, and lean meat, if we are taking care of our diet, our meal, if the meal is balanced, then definitely we can delay the signs of aging, or we can age gracefully. Alcohol and the smoking, they are not good for aging. So that is why we should be avoiding these two factors if we are drinking or we are smoking. Then mental health and the stress management is very important, because whenever there is a stress, the stress will invite a lot of things. It will invite the diabetes, it will invite the obesity, you cannot concentrate on the work. So lowering your stress have n number of the benefits, that it will decrease your blood pressure, it will decrease the chances of diabetes, it will decrease the obesity. So stress management activities, whether it is a meditation, whether it is a reciting of Gurbani, whether it is a yoga, whether it is a focusing activities. And one thing when we talk about the exercise for all, for our elders, it is very important to do some balancing activities also. So the balancing activities will balance the mental health, will decrease the stress also. It may be tree pose or something. So anything which is good for the balancing activities, then one should do for the cognitive function of the brain. So we should be doing the activities which you can enjoy, because all those enjoyable activities is going to fuel our happiness. So that is why management of the stress has a big component while we are talking about the age gracefully. Then number 5 is we need to limit our exposure to the chemicals, because there are basically three type of the chemicals are there. Number one is the chemical present in the pollution, that is the pollutants. Number two is the food additives, the chemical present in the food. And number three is the chemical present in our day-to-day or the personal care products. So all these toxins, what they do, they are going to imbalance the hormone, that will lead to the cellular damage, and cellular damage, it will lead to premature aging, and it will invite lot of illnesses or chronic illnesses. So that is why, I mean, keeping away all the toxins or the chemicals is very important if we can enjoy our life. Number 6 is sleep. Sleep is a very good sleep is very important for the physical and the mental health and the skin health also, because we know that while sleeping, while resting, that is the time when the most of our cells of the organ of the body, we that is the regrowth is there, repair is there, and rejuvenation is there. So we rejuvenate, regrow, and the repair while we are sleeping. So that is why if we can have a good quality of sleep and we can rest well, then only we can repair our body, and we can prepare our body for the next day activities. So the whole day activities, they are dependent on your sleeping. If you are sleeping well, having good quality of sleep, then only you can be active throughout your day. And the sleeping is also good to decrease the risk of the heart disease. It can decrease the stress, and it can decrease the depression. It can decrease the risk of the obesity. It can reduce the inflammation, because whatever the inflammation has happened throughout the day, so the repair of that inflammation is only when we are sleeping. So the sleeping is most important time as compared to your active time. Good sleep can also improve your focus and your concentration also. So it will improve your mental as well as the physical and the emotional health. Number 7 is the train your brain. The brain training is very important, because what we are doing nowadays, we are spending a lot of time on the social media. So while spending a lot of time on the social media, we are only draining our brain. So draining of the brain is not important, because if we are going to drain our brain, then we are decreasing the cognitive function of the brain. So that is why it is very important to train your brain. How we can train the brain is, you can do a lot of puzzles, we can do a lot of crosswords, we can engage our brain in good activities, we can remember our old memories, because remembering old memories, school time memories, college time memories, connecting with the loved ones, the connecting with the older friends are also very important, because we are rewiring or reconnecting our brain, the nerves in the brain also. So recollecting your past is also very important, the good thing of your past we can say. Then we can pursue some hobbies also. And one important thing is giving back to society. I'm not talking about that we are going to give our finances or the money back to the society, but yes, yeah, giving back. It may be you are training somebody, you are mentoring somebody, you are giving time to somebody who needs your time, right? So all these things, they are very important if we can give to the society whatever the society has given us. So if we can give, maybe you can volunteer for something, you can train somebody, you can give your skills also. So doing all these things, whether volunteering, whether social work, whether it's social networking, you are going to feel full from inside. When we are feeling full from inside, definitely we would be good from the outside as well. So this can be a very good strategy to keep our mental and the physical health on the higher side. Then oral hygiene, because the mouth is the representation of our body. So whatever we see on the face or the mouth, suppose if you have a vitamin deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency, you can see in the oral cavity. If you have vitamin C deficiency, you can see in your gums, your teeth, and your angle of the mouth. So if we can keep our oral cavity hygiene very nice, then I think we can stay away from lot of infections. We can stay away from the infection of the tooth also. We can stay away from the infection of the gums also. That will also, if you have a teeth, you can enjoy everything, every meal you can enjoy. If there is a problem in your denture or in your teeth or your gums, then you cannot eat anything. And if you cannot eat anything, you cannot fuel inside. I don't think you can have a good quality of life. So the dental care is very important and oral hygiene is very important. And last but not the least, yes, see your doctor regularly. You should be having good relationship with your doctor. That is very important because the doctor can tell you about your deficiencies and everything. So I mean, we have a 6S that is very important. In the end, I would like to tell you the 6S, they are very important for aging gracefully. That is good sleep. Then there is a stress management, spirituality, supplements, strength of your physical strength and the mental strength, and smile. All these 6S, they are very important. If we talk about the spirituality, it is not a religion, but yes, this is a way of living. You can live best of your health. It may be helping somebody, yeah. It may be concentrating, it may be focusing something. So spirituality, if you are practicing, whether it is a reciting of gurbani, yoga, or anything, so that is very important for yourself, for your emotional self, for your physical self, and for your mental self. Thank you.
I like the 6S's. I like how things count, right? And I love the 6S's. Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Sagoo. Wow, that's impactful. And something you said, and all, and I'm going to get back to that. And I know these guys have got some questions, but you mentioned hydration.
Yeah.
And actually, I stepped out for a second to get some water because I try to hydrate more ever since we talked about this. But how do we know if we're hydrated enough, right? And can you hydrate too much? And what's the best hydration form? I mean, we all think water, but when I look at hydration index rates, I don't see water at the top. So what is your thoughts on hydration?
Yeah. Because the water is a major part of our body. Around, you can say it's a 65 to 75% of your body's part. If you do the body mass analysis, that is the water. So base of the body, actually, the base of the body is the water. And that is why we need to have a base of our meal that should also be a water. So like a body, your meal has to be around, you can say 50-60% part should be the water. Because water plays a major role in our all thing, whether it is a digestion, it is a absorption, it is a breakdown of your food, or whether it is a detoxification of your body, whether it is a good functioning of your nerves, your senses, your heart, your liver, everything. For everything, the water is the base. So if we see the signs of dehydration, how we can see that we are hydrated well or not, number one is your color of your urine. The urine color has to be white. If it is going on the darker side, it means you are dehydrated. Number two is your texture of your skin. You see the turgidity of your skin. If it is smooth, it means you are not dehydrated. You are hydrated well. But if it is going on the dry side, if it is dry, the turgidity of the skin is not good, it means you are dehydrated. Then you can see your tongue. If your tongue is dry, it means you are dehydrated. So all the signs you need to keep on checking. We can see the color of the urine. That is the most important thing. So you have to take the liquids, ample amount of the liquids, till your urine turns white.
Wow.
Yeah, well, doctor, I mean, I guess, I've heard that over the years, but I guess my question is more fundamental. How much water per day? Now, I've heard from time to time 8 glasses, but then, it's 10, like 8 ounces. And I mean, I get confused because I've been trying to hydrate, but I just never know how much water. I mean, and then the different containers. How much water should we begin if we're beginning this process? And when we say cups, I mean, can we define that either in ounces or things of that nature?
The requirement of the water is directly dependent on the amount of your urine. The normal amount of the urine is 1 ml in 1 minute. It means 60 ml in 1 hour. So in whole 24 hours, it is going to be around 1.5 liter, right? So the normal requirement of the water is just double to your amount of urine in winters. In summers, it should be more than the double of your amount of the urine. So it means around 2500 to 3 liters is the normal amount of requirement of the water if you are not dehydrated. If you are dehydrated, then you have to take more than that. So in the normal circumstances, in the winter period, when summer is not there, then around 25 to 3 liters, 2500 to 3 liters is the normal requirement. And in summers, it may be more than that. You should be having around 3 liters to 3.5 liters.
Okay,
Wow.
so all I've got to do is, and actually I want to get back to this water with something that you had said earlier, but just to break it down, all I've got to do is make sure that I fill up a 2-liter bottle of water and knock one of those out every day, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if your glass is around 300 ml, at least 10 to 12 glasses of 300 ml amount.
Okay, and then the other thing, just for our audience, they may not know, on a previous show, you had talked about the difference in type of water. So, for example, carbonated water is bad versus regular water. Could you tell our audience about that?
Yeah, whatever the flavor we are putting in the water, that water actually, if you see the normal water and if you put a oil in the water, then you see, if you put a oil in the water, that will not stick to the bottle. That will not stick to your cup. So the same thing is there. If you put something in the water, you are going to change the surface tension of the water. If you change the surface tension of the water, that will not attach to the mucosal cells of your digestive system. So that will go bypass, that will not be able to absorb, that will not be able to help in the digestion of the food, that will not help in the breakdown of the food. So whatever the flavor you will put, whether it is carbonated, so that water becomes waste water. So the bioavailability of the water is, I mean, if you drank 1 liter of water, out of 1 liter, how much water is being used for your activities? That is the viability of the water. So if you are adding something, you are decreasing the viability. If you drink 1 liter, then half liter may be used for the activities and half liter would be waste. So that is why the normal water is more important as compared to any type of the flavored or carbonated water.
Okay, so it's any flavor that decreases the absorption rate of the water, and then it also includes, like, if you carbonate the water, because many people have the home carbonation systems.
Yeah.
And then I assume essentially soda is just nothing more than wastewater because it's carbonated and it's got flavors.
Yeah, that is why soda is not important. If you can have a plain water, that is more important as compared to soda.
Okay.
Yeah, because carbonated water also has some carbon dioxide also inside. So that if the carbon dioxide will bubble up, so that will not be used inside. That may increase your acidity or something.
Okay, let me ask you, some people, and I guess the general question is tea, because tea is basically water, but you're adding a flavor to it, whether it's green tea leaf or the other stuff. So are you saying tea, when you add it to water, the tea bags to the water, does that decrease the absorption rate of the water?
Yeah, it will decrease the absorption rate of the water, but another ingredient of the green tea, that is antioxidants. So they may help some other way. So the other ingredients of the tea that can help the body, like an antioxidant, but definitely the function of the water, it goes down.
Okay, now I've heard I'm sure this will resonate with our audience because various people do this. Some people begin their days with just regular water, and then they will add lemon, and then some will add vinegar, and it's like a concoction. Then they add like cinnamon and stuff for sweetness and things of that nature. But it's all natural, and they heat it up as like a homemade tea. Now, because I know that you had spoken before about the addition of spices and things. Can you explain to us what would be a healthy drink at the beginning of the day. And actually, if I could, just for the purpose of our audience, I want to explain that breakfast is really the first meal, but it's really whenever we break a fast. So when we wake up, we've been essentially fasting and rejuvenating. And then the first thing in the morning would be this kind of water with teas. What's the best thing for people to kind of think about with that in the morning as they break their fast?
So the first drink should always be plain water, right? So you have a plain water. So that will take all your alkalis that is present in your oral cavity inside. So that alkaline substances is going to neutralize your acidity from inside. So the first you are going to rinse your esophagus and you are going to neutralize your acid in the stomach, that is the plain water. Then you can have a water with the lemon, with the maybe with the vinegar or something, because the lemon is also having a lot of antioxidant properties. So the lemon is going to help you from inside. Vinegar is also going to help you. Some ginger is also going to help you. So these are the property of the added ingredients. So every time we are not talking about the water, whether the water is going to help us or not, but if it is going to decrease the absorption of the water, but it is also increase the benefits which we can take from the lemon and the garlic and all those things and the ginger.
I see. So that you start with the water, but then you make
you can put a lemon, you can put a honey also. Honey is also very good. You can put a ginger also. So all these things, they are very helpful things here.
And then your basic mark should be about 1 liter and 1.5 liters a day, or up to 3 liters in the summertime.
So I like the idea of when he says that, and I do it now every morning. I wake up, I have a little cup, I fill it up with water the minute I wake up, and I rinse my mouth out and I drink. And that's and you got me in this habit. It's several habits you've gotten me into, and I feel a difference from it.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing was, not eating after dark. And my stomach, during COVID, my stomach started swelling for some stupid reason. And they told me to do that, and my stomach went down just by not eating after dark. So, just
right. Okay, well, no, I hear you, Kimberly, but, doctor, this has been a long-standing dispute. I'm confident in millions of people, and because I know I'm not unique. In the middle of the night, I get hungry, and so literally about 1:30 or 2 in the morning, I am browsing around, and I'm opening up the refrigerator, expecting something different, but I always find something to eat. Now, how does that work with not eating after dark, but then in the middle of the night, just browsing around?
So if you are feeling hungry at the middle of the night, the reason is that you may be consuming lot of simple sugars, because the simple sugars, they have a high glycemic index. So whatever the constituents, they have a high glycemic index. So they actually absorb very fastly. They increase the blood sugar level very, very early, and that also increase the insulin level, and that insulin level will decrease your sugar and will feel you hypoglycemia, and the hypoglycemia again will stimulate your hunger. So if we are taking simple sugar at night, then definitely you will be feeling hungry in the middle of the night. But if you are taking complex sugar, that is a natural sugar is there in your vegetables, in your fruits. If you are taking these type of the complex sugar, they have slow absorption. So over the period of 8 to 9 hours, they will be absorbed, and throughout the sleep, you will be having some sort of carbohydrate to give you energy. So at that time, you will not feel hungry, or there would not be any hypoglycemia, or there would not be any insulin surge that we have, eating after eating any dessert or chocolate. You always feel that if you have taken chocolate, after half an hour, you would be again hungry. Then you have to take another chocolate. So this is desired to have simple sugar if you already have taken the simple sugar. But if you have taken the complex carbohydrate in form of vegetable or the fruits, you will be receiving the calories or the energy throughout your sleep in plateau level. So in the morning, then you will be feeling hungry, and then you can break your fast.
Okay, because I can tell you why that's particularly helpful for me. I'm a big fan of Krispy Kreme donuts and ice cream,
Yeah. So the donuts, donuts is the reason for that.
I can tell you, I've been trying to switch it over to yogurt in the middle of the night with some honey, but I got to tell you, if there's a donut, it's open season.
But now you start practicing having complex sugar at night. Maybe at 7 o'clock you can have. Then you will feel good. And if you need to have something, maybe at 9 or 10 o'clock you can have some fruits. So that would keep you healthy and energetic throughout your sleep.
Okay, Ankit, I think you had something. Yeah.
So I had to beam out because of technical issues. But Dr. Sukhu, I mean, a lot of people, what they do is after the dinner, they try to have some kind of a mukhwash or some kind of a mouth freshener, or maybe some sweet toffee or something like that to make sure that something is going on their tongue, and it basically deflects the a taste as well, and maybe gives some kind of pleasure. So is it good to practice those things, or we should avoid that as well?
The mouth freshener, okay, you can have a mouth freshener. That is not a problem. The basic thing is, I mean, if you can practice the normal and the easy method, just you have to rinse your mouth. Rinsing of the mouth is very important so that you can take care of the oral cavity hygiene. So that is important, because if there is any particle of the food is there inside your oral cavity or in between your teeth, so over the night, if this particle would be there in your oral cavity, in the morning it will smell very badly, and it can injure your mucus layer of the cavity also, and you will be inviting other type of infection. So when you are going for the sleep, the idea is your oral cavity has to be very much clean. There should not be any retained particle of the food.
And also, Dr. Sukhu, a lot of people have a practice of taking chewing gum and stuff like that, and they keep it in their mouth for like multiple hours, 4 to 5 hours. Maybe.
Idea of the chewing gum is, number one is the chewing gum can strengthen the muscles of your face. It can make your jawline. So if you make a jawline, then you need to take a chewing gum. If you want to make a good smile also, then you can have a chewing gum. And the another benefit of chewing gum is when you are chewing something over the period of 2 hours or 3 hours, there is an increased salivation inside. So you can have a more saliva, and that saliva is alkaline in the nature. And when you will swallow that saliva, that will neutralize your acidity from inside.
Oh, so that means chewing gum is good for health and digestion as well.
Yeah. Chewing gum is good. So anything, whatever keeps you chewing, that is good.
Wow.
Okay, but not chewing gum, right? Because that's a simple sugar.
Yeah, that is a simple sugar. That is not good. But the other benefits, I mean, everything has a benefits and they may be harmful also. So the sugar content is very less, but that sugar is also not good. That is a simple sugar.
But the chewing, the saliva, and it's small amounts of simple sugar. It's not. I don't think gum is full a lot.
Yeah, if it will increase the quantity of the saliva, then saliva itself is going to dilute that sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So when the sugar is diluted.
Okay, does that include drooling? I mean, so is drooling a byproduct of too much saliva? Because
Yeah. So you need to, I mean, build up a habit of swallowing your saliva.
Okay.
So if you can swallow your saliva, you can make a habit to swallow your saliva. Nothing better than that. You need not to take any type of anti-acidity medicine. Just the saliva is your anti-acidity.
Okay. All right.
So I think that's all very good and healthy advice. And I like, thinking about the different ways to hydrate, because I don't think we hydrate enough. And, maybe chewing gum will also help
Yes.
hydrate.
Chewing gum and the fruits. The watermelon. I mean, we are very fond of watermelon. 90% of watermelon is water.
I know.
So you can, if you cannot drink water, you can eat water.
And Dr. Sukhu and I, occasionally you'll see us eating watermelon on the show. I have 4 more in the garden growing.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, it's in the season right now, right? So I have 4 more down in the garden. Hopefully they'll ripen before it gets too cold, and I'll get to enjoy them. But one thing I like about our society today is you can pretty much get any kind of fruit year round, right? So pretty much you can get watermelon. It's not the best tasting, but you can get it in the winter too. So, but yeah, watermelon is my favorite. I like mangoes. I like peaches. All of these things, they're full of juices. Blueberries.
Yeah, I actually,
Mango.
I actually love watermelon. You know what I also like? I don't know. When I was a kid, you get through all the watermelon, you get down to the rind, and we'd pull out the salt, and we'd salt and then eat the rind. I don't know if anybody else did, but I mean, I don't know what it is. The spirit has come over me. I'm just confessing to things left and right. I shop late at night. I browse around and eat donuts at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Confession's good for the soul. And soul food, but one of the things that Dr. Segoo mentioned too, that we tend to overlook, we always move to food. This is what I love about this group. We're all foodies, right? But he also mentioned the good practices of exercising of some kind every day, getting that movement into our bodies, which I feel like right now in the last 8 to 9 months, we've lacked that movement. Even the children, they roll out of bed and they go to school like one room over. So they've missed that movement of walking to a bus or to school every day. And so I feel like, try to get more movement. I have a chair that moves a lot. So I'm trying to make sure my back gets stretched out throughout the day. Yeah. Try to take a break and stretch and get the cardio going, even if it's just run in place for 1 minute, because these are very important. We can eat all the food we want and drink all the water we want, but if we're not getting it moving in our body, we're not doing it any good, right?
Right.
So Dr. Segoo has, but can you give us the 6 S's again?
Yeah. 6 is when the sleep, you have to manage your sleep. Then you have to manage your stress. Then there should be a big smile. Then you need to take your supplements. Then you have to practice spirituality. And then you have to build your physical and the mental strength.
Build yourself.
Yeah.
6 S's from Dr. Segoo. And this is how we are going to get healthy and stay healthy, and keep our weight at a sustainable, so it sustains our body, right? We don't want to lose too much.
Yeah. Nowadays, we are living on the principle of replacement. So if the knee is not working, we are going for the replacement. If our back is not working, we are replacing with the steel. If something else, bone is not working, we are replacing it. But if we can live on the principle of repair, everyday repair, that repair can help us not to replace your organs, but you can repair your original ones by having good sleep. Because the sleep is the time when you can repair your organ, when you can repair your joint, when you can repair your skin, when you repair your brain. So we should be repairing, regrowing, and rejuvenating. That is very important.
Okay.
Wow.
Dr. Segoo? Yeah. I had a question. Now, I don't know that we can answer it today because of the time limits, but I had read that there was a report. There was a gentleman, I think from Harvard, who did a study, and he's come up with some sort of, I don't know if you call it a vaccine or a serum or whatever, and he's gone through the trial runs with mice, and he said, and the results, as he reported it, were that it slowed the aging process dramatically. And I don't know if you know anything about that, but it's something that I was curious about. All I can remember is that the research of the gentleman, the professor, was from Harvard, and he published this paper and in fact, I think that one of his claims was that it actually began to reverse the aging process. And I didn't know if you knew anything about that.
Is it a stem cells? You're talking about the stem cells?
Yeah, I don't know what his report was. I saw the story, and it said that he was doing this research, and he'd come up with the serum that actually proved to begin to reverse the effects of aging in mice. And so do you know about that?
Yeah, actually, the serum is your plasma. They withdraw the blood and they take the plasma out of that, and then they do the pheresis, and through that plasma they grow some stem cells. And the principle is the stem cell principle, because the stem cells, they are going to stimulate to secrete some sort of hormones, so that can help in the repair and the regrowth of the tissue. So the principle is the same. The principle is the repair and the regrowth. So those stem cells, they actually fastening the repair and the regrowth of the tissue.
Wow.
So whenever there is a problem in the knee, I mean, this is the standard treatment now. When there is a problem with the knee, you have injured your knee. I always take, I mean, nature is not going to disturb you, but we ourselves, we are going to injure the knee. If there is a osteoarthritis, they put some PRP, we call it PRP, and through that PRP stem cells, they are going inside, and those stem cells, they are stimulating some sort of hormone or some sort of cytokines that help in the repair and the regrow of that tissue.
Okay, and so then I guess my next obvious question, because I'm a bit of a lunch bucket here, not very bright, but then even if we do all of the self-administrated, stick to fruits and vegetables and moderate our diet, why can't we look to that serum as a supplement?
The supplement will not, I mean, supplement cannot go through your oral cavity. The serum cannot be absorbed from your digestive system. The serum can only be injected locally, because the function of the serum is at the local site. It has to be directly injected to the local site, so that it can stimulate some sort of secretion of hormones or some sort of secretion of some tissue factors that causes repair and the regrowth.
Then why can't I go to my doctor and say, Doc, I need you to put me on a maintenance plan. I'll see you every Tuesday, get the IV out, and hook me up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not possible. These are some of the options, right? But if we can have a good practice of doing exercises regularly, if we have practices of repairing ourselves every day, so that is the best practice. We should not be dependent on any type of stem cells, PRP, or some other things.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just, so there is no fountain of youth except by way of eating. I just wanted to be clear about that, because, sorry. Ankit.
Yeah.
But I think, as Dr. Sabbu said, we need to understand how to repair ourselves. But I think, Dr. Sabbu, all the sportsmen, when they play a lot of sport and they have a lot of injuries, they also take some time to repair themselves. So is it something what they follow? I mean, they take rest, they take all the required precautions and make sure that they're ready for the next game? Whenever
there is a hard training, if you talk about, I mean, this is not like that some sportsmen are doing that much of training and I can also do the same type of training. No, because this is their profession. They can have, because there are three things very important: eat, sleep, and train. So they are following three basic principles of the life. That is, they eat well, then they sleep well, then they train well. We cannot do that. I mean, if I'm working for 8 hours and after that I'm thinking that I can do that level of training, that is not possible. So professionally, if you are eating well, training well, and sleeping well, that is the best way. The three phases of the life. If they are overtraining, and they should be taking rest also, because overall, I mean, musculoskeletal system is made up of all the tissues, tendons, joints. So we need to, give respect to each and every part of our body. If we are paying respect to our joints, tissues, then only they are going to pay respect to us.
Okay.
No, I think certainly.
I guess we're teams, because all I got from this doctor was no donuts at night.
Yes, no donut at night.
Oh, wait, you got drinking lots of water, not seltzer water. No.
Yeah, I'll keep you remembering for this.
It's time for a water break.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure, but also
Plain
when you
water.
first wake up, rinse your mouth real well and drink the water so that the alkalines go into your body first thing in the morning. So those are some really good practices to get into. And I learned a long time ago, because I used to do the same thing, Bill, wake up at 3 a.m. and starting, like just raiding the pantry. I would sometimes even know that this was going to happen and have things waiting. And it took me hearing about the simple sugars versus the complex
Sugars. Yeah.
That made such good sense. And so ever since I traded that, started eating before dark, maybe having some fruit before I go to bed, even though that's after dark. My whole body has changed. I sleep through the night. This is why I was telling you, I really like my sleep now. Like
Yeah.
it's totally different
Yeah,
than what it used
that's a
to
good
be.
practice.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, I mean, to use the things wisely. It is not that we are giving something extra. We are doing the same things, but we are doing all the things wisely. We are giving, I mean, some respect to something at proper time. So that is very important. How you, I mean, understand your meal, how you understand your water, how you understand your body.
Right.
And I'm glad that you shared with us how to detect whether you're getting enough hydration or not by checking your urine color. I think
Yeah.
that those are very important things in your skin texture to let you know whether you are drinking enough or not. Because I think every human body is a little different, and the amount that we drink might be different. And so, you know, just be smart on that. You know, drink your milk too. Milk has a high index of hydration. And so milk is very good, full of vitamin D. It's good for your bones, right? Your joints. And milk is good. So don't just limit everything to just water.
Yeah, all type of liquids we can have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are the natural liquids. All the natural liquids, they are very good. I'm not talking about alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah, not alcohol. Distilled
not alcohol.
Distilled water is not good. Pasteurized water is not good. You know, like I always say, I'll have whiskey and water. Hold the water. But no, but very good advice. And you know, my mother had beautiful skin when she growing old. She was always told how beautiful her skin was, and she took very good care of herself. Never drank alcohol, never smoked. Ate healthy because she had no other choice but to eat healthy, right? Because limited money, and so she spent all of her money on the foods that were healthy for her. And when she passed away, the morgue called me and they asked me what was her skin secret. And the only thing I could attribute it to is she never drank sodas or things like that. She would enjoy one if she got one, but that wasn't in her budget. But she drank a lot of water. I'm talking that woman drank a lot of water, and she ate a lot of fruits. And so I am going to say though, she did have a sin. She loved chocolate, like she loved dark chocolate like nobody's business. But other than that, you know, you got to take a look at that. And when I got that phone call, they wanted me to give their secret, right? What's their secret? I don't know, except a good life, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if I did know it, I'd sell it, and it wouldn't be.
She did have one teeny tiny secret, and I'm going to share it with Dr. Segoo one day and see if we can bottle it. But you know, every person has their little secret thing they do every day. But honestly, I think what you say is good sleep. You know, she believed in good sleep too. So I think all of those things are good for us. Just good practice. No stress. Smile. I like to smile a lot. I feel like if I share it, Ankit's always smiling, right? And
you know, actually,
supplements.
Interestingly enough, it takes more.
I think it's also time to chewing a lot of chewing gum as well, because that also gives you a lot of good smile, bringing your joy, and also helping you digestion.
Right.
And we got Lynn here today. Hi, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, or good whatever it is. I heard Bill was just starting to say that it takes fewer muscles to smile than it does to frown.
Yes.
So exercise your smiling muscles. Don't frown because what is it, Dr. Segoo? You know this. It's about 15 muscles or something like that to smile, and almost 40 muscles to frown. So we should continue to smile.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got the cure for the lines in the face, and your mother must have been doing this early on, and we didn't know it. It's called the Genesis Line Lift. Whatever the solution is, that we sell on the online dollar store. So,
Well,
so
and you've got good products to clean with too, and that's very good for skin care
it is. It is.
and
It
keeping
is.
your skin clean. And especially during COVID and virus season, right? To keep your skin clean. But you want to, not just hydrate it with, drink lots of water, but also maybe some hand lotions or water during this time of year, right, Dr. Sagoo?
Yep.
So I'll take your leave. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sagoo, for joining us today and sharing with us all the beautiful things that we need to be taking care of ourselves with.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
I'm going to go back and watch the show because I want to hear what Dr. Sagoo is saying.
Actually,
So-
he's amazing, Lynn. He's absolutely amazing. I can tell you right now, I'm going to be changing my diet. And every single time I'm on the show with him, I find that my shopping list changes.
Yeah. So one of the things he talks about getting great sleep, and one of the things that's an issue, especially for men when we get older, the prostate gland grows in size, and it puts pressure on the bladder, which forces us to get up a lot in the middle of the night. And so there's got to be some solution for that. I didn't even think Rakesh was old enough to know that, but there he is shaking his head.
I actually do have a prostate problem, and
Yeah.
so I'm actually taking medication for BPH.
Okay. Well, that's a good idea. I have not resorted to medication, but I think I will. But anyway, so we talk about the dollar store quickly before everything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Play your video real quick too before we do that. Ankit seems to be trying to share something, but I can't see what he's sharing.
There we go.
We're having bandwidth issues.
More than 300 items on our site. Quality items and a lot less expensive than you might find wherever you're shopping, including on Amazon. We deliver for free if you spend $25 or more. And we also have a gift token program. Now, gift tokens are just like gift cards that you would get to shop at CVS, Target, Macy's, or a lot of other stores. And when you sign up to become a customer, you immediately get $5 worth of gift tokens to be able to use before you even make your very first purchase. So we encourage you to sign up to become a customer. We are here because we are supporting a not-for-profit, Money Masters PBS. Money Masters PBS owns IBM TV. Now, the mission of Money Masters PBS is to narrow the gap between poverty and financial sustainability. And they do that by providing financial education that results in financial fitness. When you shop at the online dollar store, you are saving money and you are supporting the mission of Money Masters PBS. And they are two of the 5 aspects that you learn on IBM TV that creates financial fitness, saving and paying forward. But you do it at the same time because when you order from our online dollar store, you're both saving money and you're supporting the mission of Money Masters PBS.
Wow, I love that, and I sent Ankit, I sent you the end of the video today. Hopefully you got it, and I picked the right shirt. I picked the right. I'm sorry.
I didn't get the video right now.
Well, I sent you an email. So anyway, it was in an email. But the interesting thing is my grandkids, you just proved what my grandkids have always said. I can even speak with my mouth closed or speak with my mouth fully open and you don't see my lips going. So, anyway, so we have great products. I love it. And, we're almost over, so I'm not going to say any more. I think that was a great video.
It is.
Unless there's something that Bill wants me to say, because Bill always prompts me with things that he thinks are important. So, anything, Bill?
Okay, well, Lynn, I generally think this. I think that what our viewers should know is that You have quality products that are inexpensive. They're not cheap, one, two. And in this day and age of giving, that you can ship from the Family Dollar store care packages to those people
Correct.
that are in need and or loved ones who are unfortunately suffering from various natural disasters. And I know that your store and your family is committed to that cause as well.
We are. And it's the people in all over the Western states, because every state has fires going on. And people have been displaced from their homes. People in Lake Charles, Louisiana, from Hurricane Laura were displaced. People who got displaced by the last two hurricanes, can't remember the one, and the other one was Beta, and all the devastation that's happened. Just find some local charities that are trying to help the people find their address and ship to them, because all those people are in need. And then you're really doing three things at once. You're saving money, okay, but you're helping, and which is item number 5, both Money Masters PBS, and you're helping the people in the local areas that have been devastated. So that they're both very important.
Yeah.
And Bill, I have to say today, you look even just as great without a bow tie.
So I know we need to wrap up, but I want to add to the care package, and maybe we can gather up a checklist of what would combine together as $25 worth, so that you can ship for free. But in the case of fires, and I've heard this many times from many people who have suffered losing a whole house in a fire, you lose everything. You have nothing. Oh. You walk away. You have no clothes. You have no toothbrush. You have no hairbrush. You have no soap. You have nothing. It's like checking into a hotel. I hate saying it this way, but when they lose your luggage and you check into a hotel and you have absolutely nothing. No deodorant. I mean, when they start giving me these things, and so maybe some of the things that we could do is come up with a checklist that makes it easy for people to donate a care package to those that are in need, especially with the fire victims and the hurricane displaced victims that are out there. But what I want to add is right today, in about 2 hours, there is a benefit for the California fire victims here on IBM TV. You can, they will have a link that you go to donate money, but also they're collecting instruments for the musicians who have lost their instruments. So if people have spare instruments or spare equipment that they can donate, that goes forward to the victims who have lost their musical instruments as well. So that's today. In 2 more hours, it starts at 11 o'clock Pacific Coast time, and that would be 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's going to run for 12 hours. So that's plenty of time to dive in and out of some of the other shows that we have, like Sasha's Chess Stars. But also, it will give you a chance to watch some great music. It's all unique music all day long. Some grand opening moments from Native American Indian. So it's going to be a great day. And if you feel like you need to donate, also you can go to the Family Dollar store. When you register, you get $5 of shopping points. And if you donate if you buy something between now and the end of the month, 100% of that comes back to Money Masters.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. And I think it's time to wrap so that Zach's show just started.
Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you tomorrow on Super Sunday. But before that, we have some shows lined up for Saturday, so here we go.